Hey buddy, welcome back. Rebel Chumps here. Today we're talking about the latest, yeah, unfortunate situation in our saber community regarding so-called sabers. Eugene, who did a Proffie board run, and yes, this is my little son. He's sitting next to me because he is actually getting his first teeth coming out, and he's a bit, he's not feeling that great. So I take him on my lap. So sorry for that, but yeah, you can enjoy us in this small, short discussion, I hope. So yeah, in short, Eugene did a Proffie board run where everybody had a chance to get hands on Proffie boards for really affordable prices, because the more people will get onto the run, the cheaper the soundboards became. And at some point, he had, I believe, several thousand Proffie boards on order. It's estimated roughly around 20,000 US dollar into this project, and unfortunately, Eugene suffered a tragedy in his family. I'm not going into the details because I don't know them and I respect his privacy, so I'm not gonna touch further on that. It's allegedly also said again. It's said by close friends in the both saber community running in the same business and friends that he, because of the tragedy, he run in financial issues, and at the same time when the profit board was in or ongoing, he got all the money from all the people that participated in the profit run in full, so they paid in full in front. And then several periods of time elapsed where there was no communication from Eugene because he was basically drowned in probably in grief, and he just maybe couldn't cope the situation personally what happened, and it affected his business and his communication to a point where he actually closed some of his communication channels like Instagram and apparently his YouTube account as well, so his customers having less ways to contact him. Now, he might have closed those channels because some personal family members were also on those social media platforms as his business side of things, and they were maybe harassed by some customers. I don't know. I can understand it from that point of view, but now a lot of that stuff is coming out from different mouths with people with different intentions, some malicious, some kind-hearted, some making assumptions here. So I try to be as objective as possible, but there's some things that just happen to line up in a certain way. So allegedly, some people say Eugene has financial issues because of the tragedy. I don't know. I can't say anything on that. So that's something that people say. The Proffie run approximately run or brought up around 20,000 US dollar. They said. And it was paid in full, and it seems like Eugene says he had issues to produce the soundboards with the manufacturer, and he already said he paid in full to have those boards produced, but there's further delays. There were delay after delays for some reason. I'm not 100% sure of, because I'm not a person that is there, so I don't know exactly, because that is between him and the manufacturers. It might be at some point communication comes out from certain manufacturers as well, because it is saber community, or the props community is quite small from that point of view. Either way, a lot of people were angry. They wanted their money back. Eugene promised to give back their money, so he started to refund money to certain people already. Some people already got refunds. It seems like he began to do the refunds with people that got big orders of Proffie boards, but I also saw people that got refunds that only ordered one Proffie board. So he's working on that. If you already paid the whole Proffie board in full to the manufacturer, I can understand you cannot just cough up 20,000 US dollar for refunds, because you already spent maybe 10, 12, 13, 15,000 US dollar to the manufacturer to make those Proffie boards, right? Somebody needs to be paid to make those Proffie boards. If that's the case, if the Proffie board's not even paid for and it's not even started in production yet, then I don't know. I honestly can't say it. Some people say he doesn't even start it the whole process of paying the manufacturer to make the boards. Some people say he already did. So I don't know. That is the current state of affairs. Um, I think we need to be very careful not to get out the pitchforks, because if Eugene comes through with the soundboards, a lot of people have to swallow their words, and yeah, need to be careful not to um, have a judgmental ready before you actually we see the result, if he coming through with the soundboards as he promised or not. If that's the case, all the people that got refunds, they might even consider buying those Proffie boards for the price as initial set by that point. So it might work out in the end for everybody. At this point, I do think getting the refunds would be the best for everybody, and that because he closed some of his social media before well, around the same time he did the official communication, which is really weird. If you run a business and you have the intention to continue running that business, you would definitely not do that. Um, but then again, somebody that just or suffered recently some tragedy in his family, it might really mess up your mental state, and it might be that he just cannot think straight anymore. I just wished that he appointed somebody to act on his behalf for his business, and I believe people actually proposed that to him. I'm not sure if he refused it or he's still in the works with people to actually say, okay, this and this person, I want you to take over this whole process for me, and I will share my profits with you accordingly to the work done. And I need to work out this kink going forward, because if he closed some of his social media platform, that also indicates a bit to me that he might not even is in the market or remaining in that industry. And the industry is very small, so it definitely will leave a black spot on his reputation. Although it was flawless before, it won't per se guarantee his reputation going forward still being flawless. Um, it's just the way how he handled the business in terms of communication, and yeah, that's just not good. But that's what I wanted to talk more about than Eugene himself and so-called sabers. I wanted to talk about the fact that we have multiple cases where a lot of money went into a person running a business and it didn't pan out. We have seen that with individual sabersmiths before, companies, etc. It just doesn't work out at all times. Some of the individuals, they run their business perfectly fine, no issues, and they just know how to run a business. And that's a little bit the thing where I want to talk about is, it seems like it's a lot of people want to make a job out of their hobby. They love like custom lightsabers, they love movie props, they want to get into it. They start it, and I might even start it at some point, and they have no prior business experience. They don't know how to run a company, they don't know how to do the proper communication, they don't know how to handle projects, especially for projects like the Proffie board run that are well over 20,000 US dollar. They're just not properly managed from a project perspective. Like, it's not properly done. There's things missing in that whole process that all build up to this issue. And that's also a little bit the thing. You work with one individual overseeing that entire thing, and when you get into projects, you take them up and you get into a certain project growth or size, you need to say, are you going to still feel comfortable with this, or are you going to face it in multiple projects, or are you going to keep them small or whatnot. But I would personally, when I would do a Proffie run, I would start with an X amount of cards only, let's say 50 clients only, or 50 cards only, with a maximum investment of 500 US dollar or something that I could financially manage. I would never get it up to 20,000 US dollar, especially if you've never done this before. You need to be able to, cope those financial risk or other risk. You need to plan this well in advance, and it doesn't seem like that's done. And I don't really fully blame them, because they just want to start getting into this business. You need to have a learning curve. You need to fall and stand. It's the falling part is the learning part. It's the hard way. But if it's get to really high amounts of money, like 20,000 US dollar, it's seems to me that it people just have no stop. They have no sense of running such vast amount of money, and I just don't know how to say no, or how to step back, or limit their own risk and their clients' risk. And it happens. It happens. Like, it will happen maybe with me. Let's say if I start to run a business and I will mess up some things, I wouldn't run it all the way up to that level. I might mess up a lightsaber, or I must mess up a project, and yes, I might run in a few $100s, but it will come from my pocket, and I will pay it in full back. And I don't say that Eugene won't do it. I just say I feel like it became out of hand, out of control. You see, that's the teething problem. So I feel like when we going to engage in these kind of projects going forward, for everybody that watch this, it's either a custom saber run, an empty hilt run, whatever. Also empty hilt runs, I have to say, the 7 chambers, Phoenix props, hero lightsaber, the Luke Skywalker lightsaber, that run didn't pan out perfectly either. There were also all kinds of manufacturing issues. Till to this date, people are waiting for parts to come in. That being said, we need to be very vigilant about individuals that run a saber company, and they have a run that they are able to manage to run. So they have a limited amount of spots, they have a plan that you can acquire for, and they have it readily available for you to see, like, this is how we're gonna do it, this is our backup plan, this is the plan when it doesn't pan out, and this is the way we're gonna do the refund. Clear rules, clear playing rules, and everybody knows what they're getting into financially. So people are not just splurting out money and say, oh yeah, I know this guy, he's very trustworthy, he does an amazing job, which he does. What people do, they're really good at, for example, crafting things with their hands one by one. They're really artists, but they can't really run a business, for example, with a lot of money in there, or projects that have really that tight lines, etc. That's very different ballpark. And then you also have to use your mind, like, okay, so he's gonna do this and this, and it's gonna be this amount of people in there and this amount of money. Is that something I want to get hand into? Do I want to be the first one in the first project to pay in full, and this orders that money? Or do I just wait till the first project is done and see if it was successful or not? Because there might always be some kinks, right? It's a learning curve, and then maybe the second project, the third project will be going better and smoother every time, and they're getting more versed in doing it. Again, it's a very difficult subject, because I don't have any business management background, but I do hope somebody in the comments that have, like, actually studied business practices, like they actually went to the university to study business, they maybe can leverage more about it, like maybe give tips and ideas on how to actually run these kind of projects, how to run clients and businesses, because we really need people with the knowledge in this community, in these little companies, to actually educate us or them to run, how to run these businesses, how they can do it. They need the education. It needs to be shared, because it happened over and over. We have plenty of money in our wallets to spend, it seems like, and it's being run by people that we have a really good heart, but they just don't have the skill set yet. They don't have the experience yet. They're not ready for it. And of course, personal events like this is a good example. You can't manage it. Like, if something happens and you didn't plan for it, it can happen. That's life, and that happens. And with the business is no difference. Businesses are run by people, and they're run by emotions and feelings. And yeah, I feel like there's a gap that we need to work on together in the saber communities, for these individuals that we care about, that they're artists and making beautiful products for us, that they getting the full knowledge they need. And they also need to reach out themselves. For most, they need to be the ones that really start to look into how to properly run a business, how to properly run the expectations of the clients and manage them, and these projects, etc. Because every time, a lot of the times it goes wrong, and good people getting their reputations completely shred and tear to pieces. And it just comes down to certain things that just needs to be addressed. So for everybody that's watched now and they were not aware about the Proffie run is being having issues, you can request a refund if you desire so from so-called sabers, or you can wait it out till he comes through with the project. I don't know if he comes through very soon or at all. I just say there are options for you. So let me know in the comments what you think about the situation, how you feel about it, and yeah, I would like to know what we can do, or what I can do on this channel to maybe help other people that want to start a business and have like a consolidation of business practices. It would be awesome if the saber community heads, if I say so, like the big ones like Rob and Vader's Vault, etc., maybe make some tips or a video like something that can help all these newcomers and all these people that have a good heart. Their heart is at the right place, but they just don't have the experience yet, or they don't know how to run the business properly, that they need to invest time in education and experience building, and give them pointers how they can avoid that, like some general rule lines, like you should never do this and this and this when you do this for the first time. We have experience with it, and this is how we cope with it. I know it's like a bit weird to say from competitors, so that might not be the solution either, but if you guys have something that I could do on this channel to help and share and learn myself and together with you guys on how this can be done properly, and how we can see red flags and how we can mitigate that before the red flags explode, then we really helping each other overall in this entire community of prop building. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time. I'm gonna put him in his nap in the bed because he take a nappy. Say bye bye, Jasper. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye.